Alright, so it says here, find the integers for which the following is true. Well, if I'm trying to find where the following is true, that means first off I need to create a equation. So in order to create my equation, I need to figure out what the words are saying. So it says for less than 4/5 of the number decreased by twice the number is less than or equal to 3/4 of the sum. So there are key things we need to remember. What words mean mathematically. So for example, if it says 4 less than, what does that mean?
Minus.
It means I'm going to end up subtracting, right? I'm going to end up subtracting 4. It says 4/5 of the number decreased by twice the number.
So 2x.
Okay? So it says 4/5 of. What does of mean mathematically?
Multiply.
Multiply. So 4/5 times the number decreased by twice the number is less than.
And then you got minus 4 at the end, right?
There you go.
Okay, slow down.
4/5
Decrease by.
So decreased means what? Minus. Less than means minus. So I know I'm subtracting how many times?
Twice.
So this is subtraction and this is subtraction. Of means multiply.
Is less.
Okay, so let's read it. 4 less than 4/5 of the number decreased by twice the number.
4 minus
4/5 x
So 4/5 x
minus 4.
Where do you get 4 from?
Oh wait, no. Minus 4 minus 4 minus 2x. Right?
Okay, so we have 4 less than 4/5 of the number. So this decreased by twice the number.
Times
So
2.
minus.
I think I did that right.
negative.
4
Same thing,
x
right?
minus
Different
2x minus 4 is less than or equal to.
Okay, so less than or equal to. So I'm going to draw my less than or equal to.
3/5
Of means what again?
Multiply.
Multiply.
3
and then you put in
fifths
parentheses.
There you go.
plus 4.
3/5, then you put in parentheses x plus 4. I'm smart, right?
No.
Yes, when she's focused, look at that.
No, I just like.
Because Perry can't hear no more.
I
All right.
like other stuff.
So here we go. 4 less than, so I knew I was going to subtract. 4/5 of the number decreased by twice the number. Decreased by twice the number. Less than 4 is less than or equal to 3/5 times the sum of x plus 4. Okay? So what do I need to do in order to solve this problem?
You need
So
to
I need
simplify.
first you need to join all the x's.
So I need to simplify. I need to combine all like terms. And they all need to be on one side, right? Okay? So 4/5 x minus 2x. What does that simplify to?
First you should, what do you call it, that?
Distribute.
One and
I was going to get there. I was just working the problem left to right. Is it okay?
Negative 1 and 1/4.
Okay? So this, I'm going to do it to the side. So I have 4/5 minus, what can I make that into?
Negative 2. Minus 2.
How about
Over
10
one.
over 5?
Wow.
What's 10 divided by 5?
2.
2.
Okay.
Now can I work the problem?
Yeah.
So what's 4 minus 10?
Negative 6.
Negative 6 over
5. Oh, negative 6 over 10.
minus 4
Negative 3.
is less.
5? I don't know how you got
Oh,
10.
sorry. I didn't mean to write 5. 10.
Well, it should be,
It should be 5.
So
it
negative.
should be 0. 5. Oh wait, never mind. You don't do the bottom number. I'm sorry.
You only subtract the numerators.
Come on.
Negative 6. Negative 6 over 5.
Minus 4 is less than or equal to, what am I going to do here?
3/5 x.
Distribute.
Distribute 3/5 x plus 12 over 5.
All right, looks beautiful.
12 over 5. Okay, I get it.
And then you can subtract the 3/5 from the right side.
Okay, how about this? Is it okay instead of giving myself a negative x, I move my smaller number? My smaller number is negative 6/5, right? So if I move that, it's going to become a
Yeah.
positive.
Do that.
Okay? So I'm going to move my smaller number so that I can maintain positive. So plus 6/5,
So negative 4.
I'm sorry, I forgot my x, plus 6/5 x.
9/5.
So now I'm left with what?
-4
Negative 4 is
less than or equal to
less than or equal to
4.
9
No.
over 5
21
x.
fifths.
9 over 5x.
Plus 12 over 5.
All right, is x on its own side yet?
No.
So what?
You gotta subtract 12 fifths.
Subtract 12 fifths. Okay,
Right.
what am I going to end up with?
With
-8.
I don't know how to do that.
Wait,
This is
I don't know what I
4
did.
over
Okay,
1.
so this is going to become, I need a 5, so what's 4 times 5?
20.
20, so I have negative 20 over 5 minus 12 over 5.
Alright.
And what is that?
Oh, I had it right there.
Negative 32 over 5.
So I have negative 32
Over 9.
over 5
Over 5, sorry.
is less than or equal to what?
9 over 5.
9 over 5
I thought.
times x.
Times x.
How do I get rid of 9 over 5?
Divide.
Or
multiply.
multiply by the what?
The reciprocal.
Reciprocal. And what's the reciprocal of 9 over 5?
Over 9.
5 over 9. What I do to one side, I have to do to the
Other. Oh, that's where you're
32
from.
over 5 times.
what happens to my 5s?
Yeah, I'm very confused right now.
Well, I know what's going on.
What happens to my 5s?
They
Cancel out.
cancel out.
And what am I left with?
32 over 9. Negative.
There we go. Where am I going to write it? I'm going to write it right here if that's okay.
Negative
X is,
Greater than or equal to
okay, greater than or equal to
32 over 9. Negative 32 over 9.
negative 32 over
Split.
Why would it be negative 32 over 9 and multiply them together?
Hold on.
I'm confused now.
All right, so now we have Mary Ellen wants to purchase a used car from Antone's Automobiles. Okay? I said automobiles. Automobiles. That cost $9,000. She wants to pay off the car loan in 4 years. What simple interest rates allow for not spending more than $3,000 on interest in that time period? This is what a simple interest rate is. Okay? I stands for interest. So she needs to figure out, does she know what her interest is?
No.
No, she's trying to find
Her interest.
her interest, correct? Wait, she does know her. Where is it? No, she doesn't. We're good.
She knows how much the car
Yes,
costs.
she does.
It told us somewhere.
It does. It's 3,000.
She doesn't want to
Yeah.
spend more.
She doesn't want to spend more than $3,000. So her interest needs to be either less than or equal to
3,000.
$3,000, right? All right. P is your principal, your initial cost. So what is her P?
$9,000.
$9,000. Okay. R. Do we know what her rate is?
X.
No.
No, we don't. So that is going to be our unknown. Okay. And then it says T. Do we know how long she wants to spend paying for her car?
4.
4 years, right? So do we have enough variables to plug in and solve for X?
Yes.
Yes, so we plug in what we know. So for I here, we know that I is
3,000.
3,000.
Or less. Oh no.
Greater than or equal to
We're going to switch it because we're writing it on the
other side.
other side. Okay, what's my P?
9,000 times X. plus-
Times X times what?
Times 4.
Times 4.
Why did you say you were going to switch it?
Because we're writing it backwards.
I have a question.
Yes.
If she just wants to pay it in 4 years, like, why would you multiply by 4?
Because she only wants to pay it in 4 years.
Would you divide it?
Yeah, that's what I was like.
No, you're following the formula. This is the interest formula. So this is how you use to find what your interest is going to come out. It's called a simple interest formula. Is that okay? All right. Why do we switch? We switch because our interest has to be less than or equal to 3,000, right? So that when we read this, this is saying 3,000 is either greater than or equal to 9,000 times X times 4. So can we simplify this? And what's 9 times 4? Well, we're not there yet, but what's
36.
So we have 36,000 times X. How do I get X by itself?
Divide.
Divide by what?
36,000.
36,000. Now what can I do, India? Now what will happen?
Take off all the zeros.
I can take off all of the zeros.
1 over 20.
So I take out all the zeros, and 3 over 36 reduces to what?
112.
So my rate is 112. Okay? Typically when you have a rate, it is written as a decimal. Okay? Do we remember how to convert a fraction into a decimal?
I didn't get that.
Yes, but you would
I
have
get
to
that.
Calculator.
I didn't get that either.
I didn't get what.
Okay, what did you get?
Wrong, because the x is by itself. It's not 9,000 x. It's 9,000 times.
Yes, it is.
It's 9,000 times x times 4.
But
X is our rate.
So then it's 36,000 times x.
So it's 36,000 times x. So to get x by itself, we divide by
36,000.
what I do to one side, I have to do to the zeros cancel out because I have the same number in the numerator and the same number in the denominator. And 3 over 36 reduced to 112.
But could you make that into a decimal?
Yes. Okay? So do we remember the steps to convert?
No.
You do like 100 divided by the denominator times the numerator.
No.
Yes. Or with a calculator, you hit Control Divide and you put in 1 over 12 times 100.
Oh,
Okay?
And you get what?
What happens is when you times 100, make sure you put a decimal at the end.
don't you get 20?
Why?
820.
Oh, so that's what I got.
Why do you have to put decimal? No, it'll
So it'll give you a decimal. If I do not put the decimal, it's going to give me a fraction. So that it gives me a decimal, after I write 100, I'm going to put a...
Can we do that anytime with any number?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to move the decimal.
We already did it.
What?
Okay? So you're saying if I have 1/12, right? Sorry, let me write it as a decimal. How many places would I move it?
This is a note.
2,
And what am I going to get?
100.
If I move my decimal place,
8.33.
I'm going to get 8.33.
Yeah.
That timesing the 100 eliminates me having to move my decimal.
It just cancels out that zero.
Yeah, it eliminates me having to move my decimal. It does it for me.
Right.
So the problem already moved my decimal for me. As here, I would have to move my decimal for my self. See it? All right. So what do we get?
Two spaces.
I did move it 2 spaces.
No, I'm like asking, like you move it 2 spaces when you put the 100.
The 100 does it itself. Yeah. You don't move it again after you times it by 100. That 100 moves it the 2 places you need for the percent.
Well, if you can get it, and then you just
If you want to keep moving it yourself, then just put in the fraction, and then you move your decimal place yourself.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
Can
can
you
do
just
that
put
too instead of doing times 100 on the calculator.
Yes.
You just do
What?
like 112 and then press it and then control
For
enter.
the decimal,
Mhm.
instead of putting in times 100, you can just move it to 2 spots.
If you okay, does that make sense? I don't care which way you go. You can put in 1 over 12 and then say, oh my gosh, I need to move my decimal place 2 places. So now it must be 8.3333, right? Or you can say 1 divided by 12 times 100, put a decimal, and it does it for me already.
So you don't have to put control.
Because 100%, what's the highest percent you can have? 100%. Why do you move the decimal place over twice? Because you're moving it over twice for the hundredths place. This is my hundredths place. So when I move my decimal place over twice, I'm moving it to the hundredths place. So that's why you times it by 100. Are y'all kidding me? Your teachers never told you that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Well, they really never taught us how to use a
No,
calculator.
niggas found out.
We just know if you multiply and stuff.
Let's continue. So because rates are generally given to you in terms of a percent, this would actually be written as 8.3% is what your rate would have to be. So your rate would have to be either less than or equal to 8.3%. Okay?
Did they do that for you though? If you went to the car place?
Yes, they do tell you that.
So they got you.
Why do you do it? Because if you have a teacher who's like me, when I go to the car place, I go in already knowing what my maximum interest rate could be because I know what I want to pay per month, so that when they try to throw numbers out at me, I know exactly what they're saying and I know what it means, so no one would ever pull a fast one over me. And I won't be like you guys getting stuck paying for 6 years because you got a low monthly payment, but you're not realizing how much interest you're paying over that 6 years for this nice little car you have.
I'm not gonna let you teach me that.
I'm saying, so is that the real interest
And I'm
thing?
bringing you with
Yeah.
me when I go to the first
All
car.
right.
Did you know that they be trying to get off on women because they don't think they know what they're talking about?
Yeah, see? No, that won't happen to me.
Like my paper, can you like do it for me?
I can approximate an interest
I'll
and
pay you
payment,
for, like $10.
a monthly payment.
You just do it like that.
Okay, so what this means is that she's going to pay, if she gets it at 8.3% and the car costs $9,000, that means that she's going to pay an additional $3,000 in interest. $3,000 you're paying for nothing. You're paying these people for letting you borrow the money. You're going to pay these people $3,000. So she's going to pay a total of $12,000 for a car that's only worth $9,000, and that's going to depreciate over time.
So that's why it's better to pay
That's why it's better to pay
the whole car.
if you can, or get a shorter amount of time. So over 4 years, she's going to pay, every year she has to pay $3,000 and divide that by 12, and that's her monthly car payment.
Because don't they say as soon as you drive the car off the lot,
The value decreases as soon as you leave the lot,
Why?
Because it's used.
because it now counts as a used car. Or
If you test drive it, it's used.
no, test driving, well, it depends on if it was already used.
So if I take it out and I bring it back in the next day, I don't want it.
No, some car dealerships do allow you to do that. You have to leave a check worth like $500 or something for damages, just in case you ruin the car or something, and they'll give you the car, and they will let you go test drive it, because then they believe you'll fall in love with the car if they let you have it for 24 hours. That's what happened to me.
You love your
Did it work?
Yeah, I bought my car.
fell in love with it.
Yeah, I love my car.
No.
All right, here we go. So Ellie attends Palo Alto High School, where grading periods follow a six-week schedule, which is similar to you guys, except our school's a little weird, and we have 5, then 6, then 5, then 7, then 7, then 6. But you get the idea, okay? You get the idea.
Then 6, then 5,
Then 7, 7, 6.
Why 2 7s?
We have to make up for those 2 weeks we lost in the fall.
What?
All right? So what happened here is Ellie, she failed biology her first semester.
You can't tell.
And so since she failed biology the first semester, she now has to make an 82 in the spring semester in order to pass biology. Okay? So it says, so far she has an 88 for the 4 6 weeks. So for the 4 6 weeks, she's at an 88%. And for the 5th 6 weeks, she has a 78%. So the question is, what does she need to make for the 6 6 weeks in order for her average to be at least an 82? Because she can make higher than 82, but she cannot go below an 82. So her average has to be greater than or
Equal to.
82, right?
Yep.
How do we find an average? You do what?
Add all
Add,
together,
divide
divide
by how many
three.
it is.
There you go. So I would add up all the numbers
So 88.
and divide by
2, 3.
But she has to pass for the year. She failed the first semester.
Well, she failed the first semester with a grade. What did she fail?
Oh, okay. It's never mind.
So,
How do I get x by itself? What's the first thing?
We
Add.
need to add 88 plus 78.
Multiply by 3.
Multiply by 3. I need to get rid of this
3.
3. So if I'm dividing by 3, the opposite is to
Multiply.
what I do to one side, I have to do to the.
Other.
So what happens here?
You
The
can't
3 cancels out.
So I'm left with what's 88 plus 78?
166.
It's 166.
166
X.
plus
Plus
x
X.
is greater than or equal to what?
246. 16.
246. How do I get x by itself?
You subtract.
Subtract 166 from both sides.
80.
80.
So she needs to make at least a
80.
80%. If she does not make it 80%, what's going to happen?
Well, fail.
She's going to fail. She's going to lose all of her biology credit.
Then a 78.
Maybe it was over something she liked and then something she didn't like.
I'm sure I made 38 and 90.
I question you guys all the time.
the first 6 week I made a 95. The second
See, look at that.
I'm just playing. We haven't even had this.
No.
Um,
All right, here we go. So we're gonna give on your classwork. We're gonna go through together and try to come up with the equation. But you're gonna be left to solve the equation. Okay? So we're gonna get as many as we can.
Oh, hey guys, come on, man.
All right. So we're gonna work together to find out our equations, and then you're gonna have to solve for the missing variables. Cool? All right, here it goes. The cost for renting a minivan is $75 per day, plus 55 cents per mile driven over 125 miles. Okay? What this part right here is telling you is that I can drive up to 125 miles and not have to pay for the miles, right?
Yeah.
But once I drive more than that, what's going to happen?
You have to pay.
55 cents.
I have to pay 55 cents a mile.
125.
So whatever my miles is, yes, I'm going to have to subtract how much?
125.
125. Okay? So let's see if we can write the cost formula. So cost equals 75 cents per day, right?
So it's like
$75 per day.
So I'm going to put 75D for day. $75 a day, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, no, it's
Plus
never mind.
55 cents per mile. But the mile is over what?
Hours.
Mile is, I can drive up to
Minus 125.
minus 125 because I can drive up to 125 and not have to pay, correct? But once I drive past that, I'm going to have to start paying. All right? The Grayson family had an allotted $500 for car rentals on their 3-day vacation. How many miles could they travel? So, what's their cost can be?
500.
500.
500 is greater than.
Less than or equal to.
And you're left to do the
I
rest.
thought it's less
it's
than.
greater than that's the most. They
That's the most they can spend. So this value has to be less than or equal to it, because this is the most they can spend.
Okay.
If it was the least they could spend, it would go the other way.
So we just solve that equation and put that.
Yep. All right. So moving on. Now we're on to B. It says Michelle has 10 feet, 10 inches of metallic framing to make a frame for an unusual jigsaw puzzle she has glued together. The length of the puzzle is 10 inches shorter than 2 1/3 times the width. What are the dimensions that Michelle must cut the metallic frame to make a rectangular frame for the jigsaw puzzle? So first off, we have a rectangular frame. And my width is my width, but what do I know about my length? My length is what?
10 feet.
My length is what? What does it say?
10
inches
inches shorter
shorter.
than 2/3.
So it's 10 inches shorter than 2/3
2 1/3
times my width minus 10. So I have a picture, I have equation, and now I have a formula. Because I'm talking about perimeter formula, remember, is 2 times the length plus width. What's my maximum perimeter?
10 feet 10 inches.
10 feet 10 inches. Notice how I write it 10 and 10/12 is my max. Can I solve for my length and my width now?
Like 10 came there, man. I just leave that there.
Yes, you can if you want to change it into a mixed fraction. Then an improper.
is greater than or equal to.
And then that's left up for you to find. Alright. Okay? So you have 2, it's given to you, you have your length and your width. So you just plug them in and you solve for width, and then you'll find out what your real length is. Alright? Anna purchased a 2 foot 4 inch piece of decorative rope to use in an abstract art project. The rope will be cut into 4 pieces. So I'm going to have a first piece, a second piece, a third piece, and a fourth piece. Okay, it says the first piece is twice as long as the second. The third piece is 1/2 the length of the second, and the fourth piece is 2 inches longer than 3 times the length of the second. So which piece of the rope is my X?
Third.
Second.
The second, because every other size is based on the second. So the first piece is going to be what?
Two.
Twice as long, so what is that equal?
2X.
2x. The third piece is going to be what?
Half X.
And then the fourth piece is going to be?
3X minus 2.
Inches longer. Then 3 times. So
3x minus 2.
3x minus
2.
2. Okay? If I'm trying to find out the full length of the rope, it's going to be the first plus the second plus the third
Miss, where?
plus the fourth. Yes.
It says 2 inches longer, so wouldn't it be plus?
Did it say longer?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry.
Oh, plus 2.
I thought it was 2. It's 2.
Let's see it too. I heard someone say minus 2.
Give it a second.
Okay? So my rope, what's the biggest my rope can be?
2, 4 over
2,
12.
4 with 2.
Which reduces to?
2 and 1/3.
So that's my maximum.
2 and 1/3. And then plug it all in.
Plug it all in, and then will you be able to tell me what each length is?
Yes.
Once you solve for x. All right. Moving on. So here we have D. D says 2 planes travel toward each other from cities that are 1,615 kilometers apart. The 2 planes passed each other in the air after 3 hours and 48 minutes. The slower plane was traveling at a rate of speed that was 80 kilometers per hour, more than half the rate of speed of the faster plane. Assuming they left at the same time, at what rate of speed was each plane traveling? This is a
It's
hefty
like
problem.
number 3 on our
It's similar to number 3 with the trains on our
note.
our notes. So we're gonna call train 1 and train 2.
Plane.
Planes, see? P, look at that. Didn't even know it was a T. Alright, so plane 1 and plane 2, it tells us that the slower plane was traveling at a rate of speed that was 80 kilometers per hour. Is it okay if I make plane 2 the slower plane?
Yes.
Okay?
1/2 plus 80.
So 80,
1/2 P1.
80x is more than
1/2 x plus 8. Wait.
1/2 x.
No, why would 80 be with X?
Yeah, it's 1/2 x
1/2
plus
x.
8.
Slower plane was traveling at a rate of speed that was 80 kilometers more than half the rate. I'm sorry.
Come on, Miss Ware.
Hey, I said sorry. 1/2
X plus 80.
plus 80. I read it wrong. Or I don't know. Let's just go with it. I was rushing. I feel pressure. I have 5 minutes to get through the rest. All right. Assuming they left at the same time, at what rate of speed was each plane traveling? So first off, we know that these 2 planes are doing what?
They're
Flying.
They're flying, but what are they?
Cross each other.
They're gonna cross each other, right? Because they're flying at different speeds,
Directions.
but their distance between each other.
What's it saying?
What's their maximum distance?
16, 15.
16, 15, right? So 16, 15 is my maximum
Distance.
distance.
That's a little dangerous.
So is less than, no, greater than or equal to.
So it has to be greater than or equal to 16, 15. And then it tells me that, what do we do? What do we do on the train problem?
We
What do we do to find that value?
did 64 x.
We added
So
them.
1/2 x
We
plus
added them.
80 plus x.
So x plus,
1/2 x
1/2 x is 80.
plus 80.
on our train problem, in order to find the distance in between them, what do? We added them. So the same concept here with the planes. If I already know what my distance in between is, can I not solve for x? Yes, and I feel like this would be an equal problem, not a less than problem. Because we know exactly what it equals, right? Can you solve for x?
Yes,
Why not?
Why not, if you can't?
you can.
Is there anyone who couldn't solve for x?
Huh?
Yes, no, maybe so?
What up? Yeah.
All right.
Huh?
All right. Oh, time's going. Crosby will have 6 tests this grading period. He wants a test average of at least an 88, right? If he has scored a 68, 100, an 85, a 95, and an 86 on the first 5 tests, what will he have to score on the last test to meet? What is this similar to? The one on the.
last one.
So we know the average equals.
88. Well, he wants to
The average has to be greater than or equal to
88.
88. So how do we find the average?
68 plus 100 plus 85 plus
So you're gonna end up with all of
plus
these.
86 plus x is greater than or equal to 88.
Let's do that.
86 plus x.
All-
You're gonna divide it
Divided by
by.
6, right?
There you go. And it has to be greater than or equal to,
88.
I wrote 86, 88.
Next.
Got it?
Plus X?
Because that's my unknown grade. Do I know my 6th grade?
No.
No. All right, F. Jeffrey is buying CDs.
You got it,
It's just an average. It's like, it's a normal average time.
All right, Jeffrey is buying CDs for his brother for Christmas. Each CD is on sale for $4.99. He has already picked out a gift for his parents that will cost $55.95. Ignoring tax, if Jeffrey has $75 to spend, including the gift for his parents, what is the greatest number of CDs he can purchase for his brother?
It has to be 75.
Minus 55.
75 less than or equal to.
Yeah.
Let me where do the math.
Is it less than or
No,
equal
you
to?
minus
Less than or
55.95.
equal-
Yeah,
Yeah,
greater
greater
than,
than.
because that's the most.
But you can't Less go than. greater than You can't- 75, so it's
Just
less
do
than.
the work, Miss Ware.
No,
Miss
it
Ware,
has.
that's wrong.
Because you can't go over 75, that's all you got.
This is when you would write less than.
Coffee.
If I was writing it in this direction, Priscilla, this is when I would write less than.
But how if you can't go over $75? Because that's
This
all
is
you got.
the equivalent statement.
$75 is the
It is my
greatest
maximum.
you
It's my greatest I can go.
Miss Ware kind of graduated college now. So,
Okay, I know.
Okay, I make mistakes daily. Y'all see this. So $4.99 times the C plus $55.95 has to be less than or equal to
Got it.
75. These are equivalent statements. So either way you write it, you're gonna still end up with the same C value, right? And you're gonna end up with the same inequality. It's just a different side that it may end up on. Do we understand that? All right. Woo! All right. G. For what value is x will the angle below be acute? What does acute mean?
Less than 90. So 90 is greater than, no. greater
Strictly
than
less
2.
than, right? It has to be strictly less than
Oh,
90. So,
So it's going to be
4x minus 18.
is it 18?
Oh.
Can I solve that?
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys. You should be able to do the homework.
Finish our notes.
What? So for problem D on your homework, what we went over was trying to find the speed of the plane. You guys were right about what the speeds were, but we forgot to include the 3 hours and 48 minutes and how important they are to the problem. The reason why it's important is because at this point, that's when the values actually equal 1,615. So 3 hours and 48 minutes can be converted into 3.8 hours. Reason being is because 48 divided by 60 is 4/5, which is 0.8. So therefore, I have 3.8 hours of time where I'm equal to myself. So now I can set it equal, and I can solve for x. And when I solve for x, I get 230 kilometers per hour. And with that 230 kilometers per hour, I can find the speed of the slow plane. All right, that would be it, and hopefully you finish your homework.